Hi, everybody. We're going to get started in just a minute. Just give everyone a couple seconds to join on here. Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Elizabeth Miller. I'm the Happy Healthy Caregiver and teaching others how to be happy healthy caregivers themselves. And yes, we are live. One second, I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Waiting for somebody to confirm in the chat if they can hear me. Awesome. I got confirmation that I can be heard. Wonderful. Yes, I can see the chat replies. So we're perfect now. Okay, welcome everybody. I'm Elizabeth Miller, again, of the Happy Healthy Caregiver, and I'm excited that you're here tonight for our webinar, Real World Tips to be a Happy and Healthy Caregiver. I'm interested in finding out where you are from, so definitely use the chat box to let us know where you are, what town you hail from, and you can just put that in the comments. And hopefully you saw my tips there on the page, but if you want to have that chat box pop out as a separate window, you just hit those little overlapping rectangles in the top right of the header, and that will do that, so you can put that right next to the video. Hopefully everybody can see my presentation screen, Real World Tips to be a Happy, Healthy Caregiver, because we are going to get going. So first, my question for you is, are you happy with your self-care routine? And just interested in, maybe give yourself a rating from a 0 to 10 in the comments of how you think you're doing with your self-care, and you can share that there. And I want to tell you today that you're in the right place for this webinar. If you cry more than you laugh, you find that as a family caregiver, you can shed some tears, you miss your own personal hobbies and your interests, and you want to rekindle your own goals and dreams and feel optimistic about the future, even while caregiving, and you want to improve your relationships. That could be your relationships with the people you care for or within your own family. And overall, you just want to be happier. You're also in the right place if you want to find time for exercise, you're tired of feeling tired, you want to make better food choices, and you want to be a healthy example for your kids. You want to feel more at peace, and you want to prevent being a burden on anyone in the future. So overall, you want to be happier and you want to improve your health. You're in the right place for today's webinar. In today's training, I'm going to teach you how to assess and reclaim your time, share with you 10 practical happiness hacks and 10 healthy habits to integrate into your busy life, and how to do this without adding more stress and overwhelm. We've got enough of that going on as family caregivers. So we are going to minimize all of that and help you feel happier and healthier. Stick around to the end. Don't go anywhere, because free after today's training, I'm giving you one of my most foundational and popular resources. It's called the Create My Me Time Workbook. And so that will be free to everybody. At the end of the webinar, I'll share how you can have access to that. And then I'm also offering an exclusive offer where you save 25% off the Happy Healthy Caregiver community. And this is where I have more how-to courses, worksheets, and videos, and they're organized by theme topics and ready for you, in addition to having a great, lively group of family caregivers where we have a very private, intimate community where we get to know and help each other. So stick around to the end for those benefits for the webinar. So why do caregivers need self-care? Share your thoughts there in the comments. But why do you think we got to take care of our own health and happiness? I'm curious to see what you all think there. And while you're doing that, I'm going to share some statistics. So unpaid caregivers provide 80% of the long-term care. And I'm getting these from the CDC on so studies that they've done on aging. A typical caregiver is a 46-year-old person with some college experience and provides more than 20 hours of care per week to her mother usually. And they say her because it is the majority are females that are in this role. And caregivers report having difficulty finding time for oneself. 35% say that, managing emotional and physical stress, and balancing work and family. So those are some of the things that they have found out in some formal studies. And so I want to call out that you may be on the road to burnout if you are seeing some of this behavior and things happening in your life. One thing is that you'll find that you can start to lose interest in the things that you used to love doing. You delay doing little things to replenish your energy and recognize your emotion. And then it's often like a big project or even an emergency to make that happen. You start depending on unhealthy substances to make you feel better. You know, you may be relying on more of that glass of wine a week may become more of a nightly thing. You might see more of that, or even other pills and so forth. You feel anxious and irritable, and you have a short fuse. And you think your friends are tired of hearing about your caregiving problems, so you just stop talking about them, and you find that you're withdrawing from those people. What's standing in the way of your self-care? I want to share your thoughts in the chat on that. I'm seeing some comments here that we don't want to be a burden to our children. That is a great reason why we would want to take care of ourselves. So what's standing in the way of currently doing that? So while you're sharing that, here's a little bit about my story. I live outside Atlanta, Georgia. I've been married for 20 years. I am the mother of 2 teenagers, and Natalie and Jacob are the names. I'm a happy dog owner of Shadow. I've adjusted my career over the years to juggle life and work, and I love food and new adventures. So that's kind of a little bit about me. And then we throw in the caregiving part, and that's been the focus, definitely a new focus in the last 10 years. So first, it started out as an intermittent interruptions to assisting parents, and this is my own parents and my husband's parents as well, particularly his mom. So it was an occasional, maybe every quarter, every 6 months, interruption try to thing where we would have to drop everything and assist them in some way. And as those started coming closer and closer together, we did try to get my parents to move closer to family, and we thought in Atlanta, where they used to live, would be a great choice. We have 3 siblings here. I'm one of 6 kids. So they both finally just put the law down, and they said that they were going to age in place. But the fact of the matter is that it may have appeared that they were aging in place, but it really took a village, is what I'm calling it. They had people coming in probably 6 days a week for several hours to make it all happen for them. Cutting up vegetables and making soups and pre-cooking things and helping with a lot of personal care and grocery shopping. And then in bigger instances, it took family members coming down to assist. In the spring of 2014, I call it a spiral because it started with my mom's hospital visit, and it was scary. And we thought we were going to lose my mom, and she was in the hospital for several weeks and then a rehab facility. And during that, of course, we were taking turns back and forth, and my dad was hospitalized in July 2014, and shocked us all that he passed away about a month later in August 2014 after going through many different things and really fighting hard in the hospital. And he passed away in a hospice facility. So within 2 weeks of my dad passing, we moved my mom reluctantly to Georgia into an assisted living community where I was her primary caregiver for over 18 months. During this time, too, in the last 10 years, my mother-in-law also battled lung cancer for 4 years, and my husband was her primary caregiver, which, of course, had many impacts on our family. And she passed away the same year as my father in December 2014. So we've been through a lot. These bullet points I don't think quite say it all, but I'm sure that that was my introduction to the sandwich generation. So my question for you is, can you relate? And what's your story? Share a little bit about that in the comments so people can see and learn about a little bit more about you. So why Happy Health Caregiver? Why the site? And why did I start it while I was living through all of this? Well, I really couldn't ignore my own health. I needed to break this cycle within my family. A lot of my parents' health things that were happening for them were all things that were self-inflicted, frankly, and could be controlled if they had taken better care of their health. So I needed to break that cycle and recognize that I didn't want to repeat that pattern. So writing has always been a sanity saver for me. I've enjoyed reading and writing since I was a child, and blogging was something that was on my bucket list. And I have a journalism degree from Penn State, so writing became a great outlet for me. And so I first kind of wondered if I could sustain this while I was caregiving. So I did an Instagram test. I did something called 100 Days of Healthy, where I just posted something, a little healthy thing every day of what I was eating or what I was doing, and shared it, and found that I got a lot out of that. And so during this difficult time for me too, I was also looking for other support resources and was reading whatever I could get my hands on as far as books and things like that. And so I wasn't really finding something that really identified with what I felt like. I was isolated and overwhelmed and just feeling really stressed out by this new caregiving role. And so I want to share the knowledge that I was obtaining, and I wanted to connect with other caregivers like me. And this site was keeping me accountable and cheaper than therapy. And ultimately, too, it's a great goal. I'm hoping to make a future flexible career out of it as well. So that is why happyhealthycaregiver.com started out. And what I really enjoy doing is just helping other caregivers prioritize self-care. So that's really where I honed in on my what I wanted to share. Instead of it being a place where we venting is definitely a part of it, but we really encourage each other and share actionable, practical ideas that we can do to help live the lives that we want to live while caregiving. So while I'm talking here and sharing the next few bits with you guys, add your questions in the chat. We will have a mini Q&A session towards the end, so feel free to put those in the chat. First thing we're going to talk about, and I'm going to show you how to do, is how to assess and reclaim your time. So first tip I have for you is to limit what you take on. So take control of your time and protect it. If we keep saying yes to things, we're saying no to something else. So if you're saying yes to these little things that aren't matching up with your value system, then that's taking away from things that you're saying are super important to you, like spending time with your family and so forth. So take control of your time and protect it. Learn the word no, or maybe not now. It sounds a little more gentle, and just understand and share with people that you're in a season of your life where you just really can't take this on. You can't be a member of the neighborhood board or take on a volunteer position at school, that you really have to have a lot on your plate and that you need to focus on these relationships and just set those boundaries at work. Is set them physically on your calendar if you need to be out of the office or into the office at a certain time, and set boundaries with your family about what they can expect as far as when you'll be available. Things like, I often tell my kids, I can't run errands with you easily during the week. If you need something for school, you're going to need to tell me on the weekend so we can go and get it. And then just watch out for those time stealing activities, especially I find for social media and television. So those are the big ones where we can just spend hours upon hours doing things that we're really not matching up with where we want to go and what we want to do. And then I'm sharing a site here called unroll.me, and it's free. You put your email address in there, and what it will do is it'll show you all the emails that you're currently subscribed to, and you can unsubscribe there very easily without having to hit the unsubscribe in each individual email. And you can also package things up into one little daily digest email where you can open it and see a bunch of things at once and then click on it for more information. So I have found that to be very helpful, and it really reduces the amount of time in email. So check that out. So next tip I have for you and creating more of your me time is to evaluate and ask for help. So you want to assess all your family responsibilities, and one of the worksheets that I share in my community is something that helps with that. And it just really lists out everything that you could be doing right now or somebody in your family is doing. And maybe you just need to sit down with somebody and outline that, this responsibility of insurance falls to you, or I am expecting that you own the trash and I do the grocery shopping or something like that. So divvy up all those chores and identify who owns them, because there's freedom in that. When somebody else owns something that you don't have to own, then you really can focus on those things. So you also want to get your kids involved. Kids, even at a really super young age, can help out with things. They can help chop vegetables and set the table and take out the trash and even do their own laundry at some point. So look for ways that you can get into carpools to help with some of the kids' activities. That people will be so grateful that you are in a carpool with them, and they have to take less time doing that as well. So sometimes you can barter for help. Maybe if somebody, can clean your house, there might be something easy that you could do for them that fits into your schedule. Or so just look for opportunities with people that where you could exchange services that could be beneficial for you. And if you have the financial means, then consider outsourcing some things like landscaping or the house cleaning or the grocery shopping, or picking up the kids, or whatever it is that you're able to do to just free up more time for yourself. Another tip to really find out where that me time is for you is to create one digital family calendar. So I fought this for a while, but I've seen a lot of really great success with having one digital family calendar for the four of us that we can all access from our smartphones. And we use Google Calendar, and I have the Google email that goes with that for our family email, but we all have the calendar set up on our smartphone. My kids are teenagers, yours might be smaller and not quite there yet, but I think even if you get your husband, or depending upon the people that you take care of, maybe it could even be some of your extended family all sharing into the same calendar, and just consolidating all those appointments. Get rid of all those papers where you see the sports schedules, the little reminder cards for the doctor's appointments. You've got everything on one version of the truth. So then you create your me time. Once you kind of have identified where you can scale back and what you can get rid of and allocate, then you can find out what's left. And you do want to make time for things that are really underrated. Sleep is something that I think a lot of people fall short on when things get really heavy and overwhelming. And it is something actually that you need in order to have that energy to get you through those busy days. So schedule your sleep time in and make time for that. For me, I try to strive for 7 hours of sleep a night. So I don't always hit it, but it is definitely a goal. And so then you just kind of back up when you need to start your evening routine. Also utilize your what I call your dead time or your waiting time. Maybe you're you know waiting for a child at a practice or sitting in a doctor's office, and you just can have those things on hand that you can fill in with some things for yourself, whether it's reading a favorite magazine or calling a friend or something like that. Repurpose your lunch break if you're a working caregiver. Then you can pay bills on your lunch break. You could make appointments if those places are open. You can do different things like that where you're really getting a lot of value out of your lunch break. And of course, sprinkle that in with some me time to connect with friends, make a phone call to someone, that type of thing. You want to use your commute and your drive time appropriately. So that's another way where it's easy to catch up on those phone calls. People you might have not have talked to in a while, or if you want to learn something or listen to an audiobook or a podcast, that's a great thing to do to access some of that things that you enjoy while you're driving to your commute or just running errands. And then look at your AM and your PM routines, and so find out the little things that you can do there to create some me time. Maybe first thing in the morning when you get up, when the house is quiet, or at night after you get the kids tucked in, that type of thing. Sometimes too, there's events called twofers. So twofers can be something that you enjoy doing, but it's also um, could be doing something with someone. So you're spending time with them and you're going on a hike or you're going shopping for something, but you're also, spending time with your daughter or your son, or so doing two things at once. Maybe you're watching TV, but you're also clipping coupons or something like that. So those are different things that you can do that I call twofers. And so this is something that I'm going to share with you is the workbook on how you can create your me time and what that might look like. And so you can use colors, or you can use a digital calendar, or you could do it drawn out on paper. So the choice is yours, and that's going to be free for everybody tonight. Free for all the attendees is the Create My Me Time workbook. So definitely stick around the end to get your copy of that. So on a scale of 0 to 10, would that be doable to you to assess your time and, reallocate some things, look at how you can get creative with some of your nooks and crannies of your day? So let me know in the chat if that's something that is doable for you on a scale from 0, totally not doable, or 10. Yes, this is something I could sit down for 30 minutes and see if there's things that I could reassess. Now we're going to dive into 10 happiness hacks. So remember too, you can add your questions into the chat and we will get to those in our mini Q&A session at the end. So happiness hack number 1 is to go outside. So go outside and get that vitamin D, look at Mother Nature, spend some time with your friends and family, and we will really find that is something free and easy to do to be happier. Number 2 would be, again, this could be something that you do on the way to work, but absorb happy content. So fill your stuff that you're absorbing, whether you're watching TV or listening to podcasts or reading books, with things that are motivating and happy and romantic or whatever it is. But just really, and even on your Instagram, your social feed, just really follow people that really lift you up and make you feel better about yourself. Happiness hack number 3, create an inspiration or vision board right where you see it. So mine is actually in my closet. But yours might be someplace else in your bathroom. You could put a little mini one on the visor of your car. So some kind of little place where you get some daily inspiration. Happiness hack number 4 is to surround yourself with happy people. So I am fortunate. I've got great, smiley, happy members of my family, and with my sisters and my friends. And so really surround yourself with people who lift you up and just make you forget some of the crazy caregiving things you have going on. Happiness hack number 5 is to download an app called Time Hop. or just to look at photos of happy times. So Time Hop is a cool app because it'll tell you like what you were doing 1 year ago or 5 years ago. And so it's just a little app that sits on your phone. It'll give you a little alert when you've got something to look at, and it goes out and it scans all your social media and your photos, and it pulls it to the surface for you. And it's just a great way to kind of look back and see some things that were happening in happier times. And of course, you can look at printed out photos or photos in old albums and type the thing. But I know if you're like me, a lot of it is stuck in your digital folders. Happiness hack number 4, listen to more music. Music can really lift your mood. So whether you're with your person you're caring for or working out or just doing household chores or doing yucky stuff around the house, listen to more music, and that will really improve your mood. Another happiness hack is to strategically place happy objects. I've got this little bluebird that hangs in from my car rear view mirror that makes me happy. I've got a shell in my jewelry bag that reminds me of my trip, my annual trip with my sisters on Sisters Weekend. Every time I dump out my jewelry at the gym, I see my cute little shell. So things like that. Find little things that they don't have to be costly, but they just make you happy, and strategically put them out and about. Try Snapchat. Seriously. I know. I totally think that this app is a very easy happiness hack to do with your family members in particular. So you can do face swaps. You can do the distorted faces. They have some really cool little quick things. It's just a fun way to say, hey, I'm thinking about you, and to get a quick smile in your day. So usually if you share a Snapchat, you will get one back for sure. Or you can also do a funny group text. So my sisters and I, we have something called You Know You're a Caregiver, and we just put some funny things in there and share funny stories or pictures of things that you can't believe, and we all have those stories. And so it's just a way to kind of take a situation, flip it around, and make something funny out of it. And then my last happiness hack is to DVR things that will make you laugh, like sitcoms or things that just aren't real mind intensive, like DIY TV. I'm currently addicted to Tiny House Hunters. So, but really, I find that my mom was addicted to Fox News, and it would drive me crazy just listening to all the negativity. And so there's ways to be aware of what's going on in the world, but not to be overly consuming a lot of that negative stuff. Now that we've got the hacks to be happier, we want to look at 10 ways we can be healthier. So, healthy habit number 1 would be to list out 14 healthy dinners you can rotate. So, if you list these out, you know what your family's favorites are, but you probably have not listed them out. Just list them out, and that way you can just refer to this list and rotate them every couple weeks. Sketch out a weekly meal plan and grocery shop once a week. That is key. The weeks get busy, and there's just such a groove and a jive to things when you've got your weekly meal plan sketched out of what dinners you're going to have with what protein and vegetable, and what you're going to be eating for breakfast and lunches. And it takes a little bit of time, but it's so well worth it, and it just gives your week some great harmony. Purge your kitchen. So you control your own environment. So go through it, read the labels, throw out all the condiments that have sugar in them and the spices that you wouldn't even know had these strange names when you look at the ingredients, and just purge out all that stuff. And so again, another resource that we have in our community is the free kitchen purge checklist. So that helps with that. And then we also have a grocery list then that you can restock with. Explore the world of smoothies. Smoothies are awesome. They're a great way to get a lot of good stuff in a really yummy shake. These are the two the one on the left is the chocolate monkey one, which is my favorite. It's like a chocolate peanut butter banana one. And then I'm sharing the berry smoothie recipe as well. So packed with protein and all kinds of good stuff. It's just going to be a little energy boost to get you through your day. Healthy habit number 5 is to just never leave home without a couple things that are going to keep you successful. One of them is a healthy snack. Nuts are a great option for that, or maybe like a Quest bar or something. organic liquid stevia, if you like to have drops in your hot tea or your iced tea, or just want to have that on hand, liquid stevia definitely is a convenient thing to keep in your purse and have with you to put in your coffee and your tea. And then have a water bottle with you wherever you go. So just to stay hydrated, um, and drink many of those throughout the day. Healthy habit number 6, you want to combine your social and your activity together. So whether you are in some Fitbit challenges, where you were going to do some 5Ks with some friends or family, or go on some hikes with your friends. So those are things that you can combine together, is to combine the social and the activity. Healthy habit number 7 would be to even have more accountability if you have that firm scheduled appointment. So if you have the means to do it, you can hire a wellness team. And so this is Ashley in the middle here, is somebody that I have worked with, who's helping me reach my goals, and also my girlfriend Chris that I work out with. We work out in small groups, and so it just keeps me accountable. I know twice a week I'm going to get a great upper body workout and a lower body workout, and I've got it scheduled on my calendar. Healthy habit number 8 is to adopt a regular morning and or evening routine. So I would say both, really. So even to the point where, like, you get home from work, you change your clothes, and you immediately pack your gym bag. That could be something that could be part of your evening routine, or just taking your makeup off, or meditation in the morning. Maybe it's reading some scripture, but just if there's something you're trying to build into a daily habit, these are some good slots to fit them into. And then build in some nothing time. Don't feel bad about just doing some nothing. And so usually on the weekends, I enjoy some of that, whether it's just reading a book or doing something with my family that is fun and not work and work around the house or work related. And then last tip for you for healthy habit is to find ways to sneak some fitness in at work. So whether you're doing something like an office meeting, where I work, I have a benefit of having a standing desk, which is really cool. So whether I want to stand or sit, that provides another option. And if you're sipping on water all day long, you can also be taking some extra steps to the bathroom. So it is time for our live Q&A call. And so while my helper is looking at all the questions in the chat here, I just wanted to remind you that you stick around to the end. You're going to get 25% off tonight if you join the Happy Healthy Caregiver community, and you want to stay tuned as well for that free bonus kit gift after the Q&A. So while we're rallying up the questions, I want to talk a little bit about what's working for other caregivers. So in the same survey, or in another survey about caregiving, we saw that 73% of those surveyed said praying helps them cope with caregiving stress, and 61% said to either talk with or seek advice from friends or relatives, and 44% read about caregiving in books or other materials. So I'm going to take all of that and what's working for other caregivers, and really that's what I envisioned when I developed the Happy Healthy Caregiver community. So I'm going to take a couple minutes to share with you and give you a sneak peek of what's exactly in the community, so that you have some more information to make a decision on whether it's right for you. So in the community, we've got forum, action plans, general discussion. We can ask questions. We celebrate success, and it's got the accountability, coaching, and motivation targeted towards family caregivers, those that are doing way too much and still trying to take care of their own health and happiness. Got great training resources, whether it's videos or worksheets, and it's really organized in a way that if you want it just related to nutrition, you can go to that area and get it, or related to exercise, or maybe related to asking for help, that type of thing. I'm in the community daily. I've been there. I'm doing that. You're not alone, and it's a private and intimate place where you can feel free to share. And I listen to what people are looking for. If you're struggling with something, or several people are struggling with something, I'm going to find a way to create a resource for that and share it with you, so that we can expand our training resources for ourselves and for the future people that are coming on board. And again, just a reminder, I've got a special for the webinar attendees tonight. So here's a sneak peek into the forum. Those are the different forums that we have that I've mentioned. And here's some of the general discussion forums and some of the topics that we've had. So how to have the talk with your parents about moving into assisted living, or talking about our love languages, or dealing with different diagnoses, and just finding humor in daily things. Here's some of the weeks of the training that we have. So the first week is all focused on step-by-step practical ways to create time for self-care. Second week is about goals. We've got moving more and so forth. So you can see that each week has a theme, and it gives you essentially an assignment. So some people want to be very structured and follow it week by week. This gives them that opportunity. Or if you want to just dive into a particular week's training, you can do that too. We focus on some spotlight interviews so that we get to know our community members better. And so we learn a lot from each other. And we just have these recorded interviews that I share with the community so that you can listen in and get to know everybody and learn what's working for them and what's not working for them. And we also have expert interviews. So we've got different people, and I listen to the community about who they would like to hear from, but whether it's somebody that's familiar with essential oils or caregiving consultants or fitness and nutrition, we've got lots of great recorded expert interviews in there where we get some fine tips from the experts. We do a Q&A discussion, member-only calls. So we tune in and we have a great conference call on that. And then we have other forums, as I mentioned, goals and habits we're working on for accountability, success stories, and we even promote each other's businesses. So if you've got something on the side. All right. So here's time for the Q&A. What kinds of questions do we have? Looks like you guys are kind of shy tonight. So I'm not seeing any questions in the chat or hearing anybody from I know that time I see as one of somebody's issues with why they're not doing self-care. But they did say it was very doable to do the me time workbook. So I'm super excited about that. So I want to know, what's the first thing you're going to do when you get off, and the first thing that you've been motivated to do tonight in this webinar. So I want you to take some kind of action. So put the action that you're going to take into the comments of the first thing you're going to do. And then, as promised, here's the special tonight. You're going to save 25% off the Happy Healthy Caregiver Community monthly membership. So it's this month. You will, instead of paying $25 a month, it's marked down for $19 for the webinar attendees. And how you achieve that is by taking this link here. And so I'll put this into the chat for you guys. And so that you are just put that into your browser. You can to write it down, HTTP, the bit.ly link 2B5 capital HNO and then a little Q, and that will take you to the sign up page where you can get the $19 a month fee. So your health and happiness is definitely worth investing in. For less than $5 a week, you're going to have a great community of people who are going to get you, and it's going to be way more beneficial than a cup of fancy coffee. And also, as promised, here's your workbook for attending this webinar. So it's the free foundational most popular resource. So in order to really get started with your me time and figure out the ways that you can be happier and healthier, you first have to carve out and create that time. It's not going to be something that you just find. And so in order to get that free tool, you can go to happyhealthier.com/webinar freebie, and that's where you'll be able to download that information. So I'm hearing that I can't wait to get started on my family Google Calendar. I'm excited about that. And it is easy to do, but that is something that I do have a training video instructions for in the community, is the step-by-step how to create the Google Calendar. So if that's something that you're struggling with, that's another benefit of the community. So thank you so much, everybody, for attending tonight. I hope you found this to be very valuable, and I hope that to see you all in the Happy Healthy Caregiver community. Take care.